Welcome to Wax Wednesday, everyone. I'm your host, Darrick Ramos, and today we're coming to you from Redwood Records here in Santa Cruz, California. We're about to sit down for an interview with store owners Tyler Davin-Moore and Rudy Kuhn to discuss all things vinyl and how they became owners here at Redwood Records. And then afterwards, I'm gonna do a bit of digging, pick up some vinyl, and take the records that I find here today back to our guest producer, Cold Space Music, who's gonna cook up a beat with them. So stay tuned because that's all coming up on today's episode of Wax Wednesday. Now play the theme. I'm Tyler.
I'm Rudy. We're the owners of Redwood.
Yeah.
Personally, my collection of vinyl started from just going to shows, and then branched out to the standard record shop. And I'm a person that goes to the record shop not knowing what they want to buy, and taking that experience and leaving with something that was presented to me. And that's kind of an ethos I think we hope to carry through this shop as well.
I love music, and I like to drop a needle, and it just sort of became one and one. I have a deep love for redwood trees. I live up in the mountains not far from here. I've hosted a radio show up on our local mountain radio station called Redwood Radio for 6 years now. And when we were throwing around ideas, would we want to change it? Tyler wasn't opposed to it.
It didn't take long. It was like one conversation. We're like, yeah, it's phonetic. It sounds great.
There's lots of great ocean and surf love in this town, but we're really close to those magnificent trees, and give them a little love.
We've gotten some good feedback. It's, again, changing something that's been there for almost 20 years. There was a little apprehension, but some people were like, why would you change something that's got a good name and good presence? But we still have the old symbol hanging up.
Chaos Star, the symbol of chaos.
And Jonathan's on the wall playing drums in our kind of current exhibit of art. So there's the Metavinyl thing lives on within here, and I think we were really conscientious of keeping something alive that we have respect for. So
I think we both realized at some point in our friendship that we could pursue some crazy ideas. We were in different cities, but we certainly had an overlapping enjoyment of live music and culture in many different ways. But stars aligned when we were both going different directions with careers, that the shop presented itself as an available option, and Tyler was my first call.
Couldn't have happened any other way, and Paul, the other owner, was really patient with us because we weren't pursuing to buy a record store at the time we heard about it. And 6 months later, we were owners of a pretty turnkey record shop, and I think that has a lot to do with the previous owner and some of the people in this community that helped us get there. It was a learning lesson for everybody.
The previous owner, I think, was very intentional, wanted the shop to continue in a way he had hoped it just was started, and didn't want someone with just the bucks to come in and be able to get it. And it had just made its way through the grapevine finally, and it just was, stars were aligned. It was as serendipitous as it could be. Silly that the things that were periphery that were so important to me and Tyler about passions about music, that they have taken center stage in a lot of ways, and we get to do it in our 9 to 5, and it's fun. It's this tiny shop that we can keep tabs on really well, and it's just starting, which is neat. It's we're just throwing those first bricks in the path, and that's what's maybe most exciting.
That's a good point. The community aspect of it, and realization, when you're a customer at a record shop, you don't realize that you're part of this thing that's happening. But when you're in the record shop all the time, it's you realize it's the same people every day. You build those relationships with people. You realize what their musical tastes are, what you can chat with them about. It's much more than just a hard transaction, which is cool. Since taking over the shop, we share a wall with the Kuhn Jazz Center, and hence we get a lot of the used records that come in. We've got some good jazz collections, and our knowledge of jazz has really expanded since being record store owners, which has been really cool.
As well as that very different kind of fascination with vinyl, because of the sampling and going down those rabbit holes, wasn't my thing, and coming into a shop and seeing people have as deep of a love for vinyl, but for a very different reason, is amazing. Whether it be the audiophile guys that just talk over my head about stuff because of the way it sounds, but it's so cool to them to find a record that produces the sound they're looking for, just as much as the guy that finds the sample to the track that he's been hunting forever. It's a neat intersection for a lot of different ways to love the same thing.
When we have shoppers that are of that ilk, you know, we've kept our bargain bins and we try to even make them better. And I think that's speaking to that shopper a lot of times, where it's like good quality stuff that's not just scratched, that, you know, they can pull from at a decent price to make their beats. And we've have some people in the shop that are here weekly, like the guy that makes the drum break section. Ryland's cool as shit. He just comes in here and in his own time makes a drum beat section on top of buying records from us, asks nothing for it. And then there's other people coming here that see we have a drum break section, they keep coming back because they know that's like a place where people that make beats like have a dedicated space for them, which is really awesome.
It's just another one of those like unique niches of vinyl shop, like trying to find that break. Yeah. Production is neat, like deserves a big platform in the music conversation. Monday to Saturday, 11 to 6, Sunday, 12 to 6. Come see our guy Jared on Sundays and talk disco, boogie, Nigerian beats, all that stuff.
All right, everyone, so hopefully you enjoyed that interview with Tyler and Rudy. I highly recommend that when you guys are down here in Santa Cruz, you come down and check out Redwood Records. They just opened. They had the grand opening last night, so I'm gonna do a bit of digging and see what I can find to take home to make a beat with. And actually, first place I'm gonna hit is this drum break section. They kind of talked about that being a specially curated spot, so take home some drum breaks. Soul and funk. This looked pretty cool too. It caught my eye. Adventures of Captain Sky. Honestly, the stool is clutch because a lot of places I'm, you know, squatting and this is innovative. I think you guys have like reinvented the wheel with the stool for sure. Mystic Moods. Mystic Moods always has some good stuff. I think that's a good amount of picks for today. Pretty excited and see what I can find off of these. I'm gonna go ahead and check out, and we'll be right back with our guest producer, Cold Space Music, cooking up a beat. See you guys.
Well, my name is Cold Space, and I've been making music since 2008, maybe 2007. On and off, not like 100%. I started in high school, and you know, garage band, all that stuff, and then just little by little, I've been working on it. 3 years ago, I switched to Ableton, and that's probably been the best choice I've made so far. It's mostly the push that got me into it. The push looked amazing. I like that you could do so much stuff with it. You can chop stuff, you can program stuff, You can use it as a piano. You can do everything on there, and it just made it super simple for me, and I love it. I feel like my music has really gotten better because of that. I think most of it is just finding the samples that make you feel something, because you can have a million samples and none of them make you feel nothing. And it's always cool when you find that one little sound. It could be like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and you're like, ooh, I like that. And then you slowly start chopping things up, and then you find more little things that you like. And I think that's the fun part for me, finding those things that will go together and make a cool loop. It just makes you bob your head, and that's the fun part. First I try to make a melody with the loop itself. I always try to start with that to like get the vibe, and then I'll try to find a good drum pattern. Once I do that, then I can have fun just adding, you know, synths, adding pianos, all that stuff. And then at the end, I'll do like the little scratching effects and stuff like that, just the icing on the cake, just like ear candy. So I try to like just layer it like that. Like I'll start with the main stuff and then just slowly add to it. If it sounds good, cool. If not, just throw it away, start again, doesn't matter. And just let it happen. Don't try to force it. Just whatever sounds good. This is my first time too. It's really cool that you sampled this yourself. I really like that. I don't know. I think the thing that really drew me to this sample was just the vocals. You know, like the kind of like old timey movie kind of like intro, where it just sounds like it's like a, you know, Little House on the Prairie or some weird shit like that. And I don't know. I liked it. It just had like this weird little vibe. Yeah, just the vocals and like the whole little like vibe was pretty sick. Since it is my favorite part, that's why I feel like I get really like inspired when I bring out the synth. I like the synth because it has aftertouch, so depending on how hard you hit it, it'll give more of a feeling. So usually when I am making synths, I'll use the piano for that same reason, that you can get just more of a vibe, you know, depending on how hard you hit it. Especially in hip hop, that's the good portion of what makes you vibe to it. It has that spirit, it has that soul, it has that thing that, like, you know, you kind of just feel it.